So we got another mower out here of the bunch. It's the one that had a bag with it. It was a Murray. It is a Murray. With an ant infestation. And a 4 horsepower Tecumseh. I just sprayed starter fluid in it. It does run on starter fluid. It smells like old gas, like all of them have for me so far. So I'm going to take this carburetor off. My guess is that it's probably too far gone for me to fix. So I've got a couple of carburetors here in house. Throw it on it and keep on rolling with the carburetors and with the mowers. I gotta get this one going hopefully here. I think I'll be able to get this one going with just some carburetor. So I'm gonna check the oil and stuff on it. Obviously you see the deck's got a little rust on it. Oil is full, I just ran it, so that's why it's up on the stick. Blade just needs to be sharpened. It looks like it's never been sharpened. But yeah, just a regular service on this one and a carburetor. So we'll get into, and an air filter. So I'll get into doing that here next. Well, I got the carburetor off here. Took the intake tube off, a couple of screws, or you can use 3/8 inch socket. Then you had a couple of 1/4 inch bolts. Get the air filter off, or the air filter cover off, and then a combination of 3/8 and 7/16 to get the carburetor off of the intake tube. Now this carburetor I thought was going to be terrible, but in reality, I mean, it's got real bad gas in it, obviously. But apart from that, the float has got some crud on it. But the needle and the seat are working on it. I got to free up the throttle here using something. And I just got to clean a lot of the gunk out here. I'm going to first try and salvage this carburetor, because I've got a lot of Tecumseh stuff that I can put new carburetors on if needed, and I don't want to kind of burn through one if I don't have to, because the primer bulb still works, still priming stuff. And like I said, I just don't want to have to use a carburetor if I don't, a new carburetor if I don't have to. So I'm going to work on this a little bit and see what I can do with it. So cleaned out the carburetor, got it back together. We might be okay. We will see. That I was trying to see if I could find the year this thing was made, but I can't. My guess is it would be sometime late in the 1980s, maybe even very early 1990s. Put a fuel line on, put the primer bulb back on, and as you can see, it is priming. So we're going to do a little preliminary test with this thing and see if it'll run for us. You know, one of the worst looking ones I have is the one that'll actually run. I took the throttle cable off of it and just hooked it onto hooked this spring right here onto the carburetor there, and it seems to be doing okay. I might have to bend it in just a little bit to speed it up. So I'm going to sit here and let it run for a little bit. Hopefully Hopefully it'll stay that way. And if so, we'll finish and do a service and stuff on it here. So the safety cable on this thing ended up breaking internally, and here's the mechanism here. I've retrofitted something like a little switch for it to work, and I had to take these two bolts off here, and this right here actually broke off of, let's see, up here. It actually broke off of, obviously you can see where it used to mount to this safety mechanism. So what I've done is, since the ground wire is kind of fixated to this, it works. And so to turn the mower off, all you gotta do is push that up, turn it on, push it down, you know, push it up, push it down. So I'm going to test that to make sure that it works here. So let me try this. So that switch will work just fine for it. And now I'll just kind of dress this up. I might cut this portion of it off right here of the bracket, just so it's not hanging around, and give this thing a good cleaning. It is old, but as y'all heard earlier, it runs pretty good for its age, and it has the bag for it, so somebody will really kind of want this thing, especially if it's running really good. The deck's not terrible. It's got some rust bubbles and whatnot, but there are no holes in it on the top of the deck. So, and the wheels adjust well. The wheels are in great shape too. So let me get this thing all cleaned up and do the service on it, kind of get it like I want it, and we'll do a final look and start. So it is all cleaned up now, excuse me. Put the bag on it. As you can see, the bag's about in the shape of the mower. Got a hole right here and got a hole back here, but I mean, it's still usable for what it is. But yeah, I mean, you know, maybe since it has the bag, maybe it's a $60 mower. Usually I'd sell them for $50 if it didn't have the bag. Had a little bit of an oil leak down here at the dipstick. I put some gasket sealer around it, some oil resistant gasket sealer, and that seems to have, if not stopped, all but stopped it. My switch is working well here. All you gotta do is pull it up, turn it off. Works really well. And so, carburetor's cleaned out, new air filter in it, and so we're in business. I'll give this thing I just washed it, so I'll give this thing a start here. Final start here for y'all. This thing's a good runner. So when Tecumseh was actually, if they ever made halfway decent stuff, actually made a halfway decent engine. Carburetor carburetor cleaned out and it works great. Blade is sharpened. I turned it into the auto throttle just like I showed y'all. Turn it off. Real easy to do. And so another mower of the bunch running. This one's number 2 of the bunch. I'm having a little trouble getting a couple of the other ones going. I've been working on the other John Deere and also a newer Murray that's front drive self-propel that both have Briggs and Strattons on them, and I got to order a couple carburetors because one of them, the linkage is broke on where the butterfly is, and the other one something's wrong with the priming ability of it, so I'm not completely sure if I can salvage that one either. But got this old Tecumseh going, which is nice. Somebody should find some decent value in this to use as, you know, just a rough cut mower or something, or just something cheap with a bag. So 2.5 bushels, so that's a pretty big bag. You don't really find it that big on a mower today. So not too bad, but I'll keep the mowers coming. I think I've got an old, what I thought was a Kawasaki engine Toro super recycler, but it turns out to be just one of the really old Briggs commercial grade overhead valve engines. That should be coming down the pipe pretty soon, and I've got others I'm working on also. So, but in the meantime, got this one going. Stay tuned for the next one. Thank you all for watching.